Hello and welcome to Farming the Four Seasons. Looking after the goats. So over the past year, since January, we've been running the 100 Days of Farming. If you haven't checked that out, I will leave a link up here. I warn you, it's 100 videos long, it's quite a long, but it's also quite interesting because it takes us from day one of really starting farming with nothing to where we are now. However, that finished last week, and as you can tell, blackberries are appearing. And though we are not yet in autumn, it definitely feels like autumn. We all know that change of air temperature in the evenings when it suddenly goes from the dry heat of summer to the temperature dropping, feeling humid. So autumn is coming. So we enter Farming the Four Seasons, autumn. The premise is pretty simple. We're just gonna go through the entire year and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm doing per season. This autumn, the billy stink is here. I now know I have a billy. I can smell him a mile off. But that hopefully means babies. Venom seems to have done something to his foot because you're not putting it down, are you? What's the matter? What have you done, Mr. Limpy? What have you done? To be fair, they are constantly, because they're out to roam, they constantly are catching their feet. So unless it's obviously broken or they're limping for several days, I don't worry. We have also moved Peaches in. Hello, sweetheart. Hi. I was going to keep her over in the other field for longer to fatten her up, but the rams are also getting a bit frisky and we're starting to bully her, so I decided to move her in here. For the most part, the goat herd go off into the field for the day, and she hasn't got quite that brave yet to go with them, so she seems to be doing well though. So this morning we got to the farm a little bit earlier than normal and I went about my everyday chores. And I always come over and I let the poultry out first, then I let the boys out, and then I walk over to the ewes and let them out. But this morning, as I did a count, I couldn't see our littlest lamb, Malachi. And so I started looking across the paddock and I saw that unmistakable shape of a sheep on its side. And I thought, oh no, he's dead. And to be honest, I wasn't completely surprised because he has been the runt. However, when I called his name, he moved. But he was stuck to the ground. So he was just down here and he was stuck to the ground on his side. He couldn't get up. Now that can happen to sheep, and if sheep get stuck on their back especially, all the gases in their stomach float upwards and they get stuck and they can basically die if they're left for too long. He wasn't on his back, he was on his side, but I think he had lain there and got just uncomfortable and slightly stuck to the ground. So I turned him up and he was a bit wobbly, but he did try and walk. So I grabbed him and I immediately separated him from the flock and brought him inside. At that point he was really wobbly still and couldn't really hold his own weight. And you can tell he's sick because I would not normally be able to give him little strokes. I definitely wouldn't be able to just pick him up out of the field and bring him here. Now, prey animals like sheep don't show they're ill until they're really ill. So we are not out of the woods with this guy. Just because he's standing and he's eaten a bit and he's drunk a bit, we're not out of the woods. These two have been resource guarding the water buckets, and I hadn't realised until I came up and I filled a couple of water buckets, and they each went to one, stood there and batted everybody else away. Now it has been super dry here, and his mother is also in the process of weaning him and his sister off. So I am wondering that because of the resource guarding of those two Jacobs, he hasn't been getting the drink that he requires. So in here, he's got fresh water, he's got haylage, he's got food. I have wormed him just in case that is a problem, but I don't think it's the case. I've used the Fermatcha test to check his eyelids. They are a bit pale, but again, that could be due to the dehydration. So we're going to keep this little buddy inside, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that he makes it. But at the moment, we'll see. I would not be surprised if Malachi doesn't last. Now, I don't want to take any chances that he is dehydrated, and I could have stopped it. So we're just gonna syringe a little bit of water. You actually want it, don't you? You're drinking it. And then I have some molasses at home as well. So when I go home at lunch, I'll grab a little bit of the molasses and give that to him as well. Molasses and sugar just gives him a bit of an energy boost, makes him feel a bit better. And then when they feel better, they're more likely to eat and drink and then get on that road to recovery. We were on Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago, and that's where we found the shed in the pheasantry. But this smallholder has tons of stuff. So we've got loads of wire. This is a massive polytunnel staging system. More wire over here. A new shed. So lots and lots and lots of projects to do this winter and autumn. So as always, there is lots to do with these never-ending projects. And there are still projects from last winter that I never got round to doing that I'm going to try and tackle over the coming year. So one autumn job that I really need to do is planting. I've got loads of winter lettuces, I've got loads of spinach down here. All of this is spinach. It all needs to go into the ground, but we still have not had any rain. It's pointless putting it into the ground because even where I water, even where I've got the black plastic down, the ground is dry, bone dry underneath. I've got a few lettuces, as you can see, but this middle section, I put little lettuces in there and they just shriveled up no matter how much I watered them. So I can't do it. Until it's rained, I can't put anything into the garden because they'll just shrivel up and die. So instead, I've been cleaning out the shed. The shed has been the site of, it was supposed to be the market garden site. It ended up being poultry corner for sick birds, quarantine birds. No more. So now it's finally clean. I've finally tidied it. I've finally got a bench that I can set up my cut flowers on. I've got my little eggs here as I collect eggs. One thing I am going to start doing is I get a lot of bantam eggs and they're too small to put into boxes to sell as eating eggs. So I'm going to do a bowl of eggs. I'm going to start putting out a bowl of bantam eggs and they can just be 10p. So you can either buy a box of 6 eggs for eating, normal hen eggs, or you can buy bantam eggs at 10p each because they are quite small. So this is my normal size egg. And then this is a Banty egg. So that's my Banty egg, and then that's my normal egg. And actually this egg is a little bit smaller than normal, so these will be 10p. So I hope you're as excited as I am about farming the Four Seasons. I'm really excited to see where the next year takes us. If you have any questions or comments or things in particular you would like me to cover over the next autumn season or the coming year, please just drop them in the comments below, and I will take them under advisement and maybe include them in a video down the line. But for now, it's a lovely sunny day. I'm going to go and water. I'm going to pray for rain.